はい、というわけで、こんばんまでございます。もういつまでこの BGM でオープニング喋るんだって話なんですけど、設定変えるのめんどくさくてさ。よーし、じゃあ、ちょっとつぶやいていきますか。スタートのね、つぶやきをしましょう。どうしようかな。ゆいどめだよ、ありがとう。サムネのメスガキ感とても生きたす、ありがとう、Thank you。何にしようかな。開始しました。今日はみんなの指示を、いや違うな、ゲームに支配されないためにも、とまりまり強い意志、強い意志を持ってこのゲームをやっていこうと思います。レッツゴーって書いとこう。よーし。あ、黒エビニキだー。先日手術の大腸がんの手術を行ったものです。無事終わり。ちょっと待ってよ、BCM うるせえぞ。歩いたりスパチャができるまで回復しました。たまりさんや皆さんのお言葉、手術前や後で大変励みになりました。ありがとうございました。あと自分は30代前半ですので油断せず皆さんもケツから血が出る前にそうだよね、ケツから血出た時って結構危ないっていうもんね。いや、退院おめでとう。退院した？退院はまだか。いや、でも回復してよかったよ、本当に。なんか、この文章を見る限りだと他になんか、特に問題もなさそうな感じかな。あ、よかった。お疲れ様よ。いや、本当に手術成功してよかった。なんだかんだずっと気にしてたんですよ、とまりは。ティアキンでクソみたいなロボットを作ってる間にも。ケツから出血、医者から直も治らないから大腸カメラ6センチぐらいのがある。なるほどな。その後大丈夫そう？他に転移とかもなさそうだった？あ、よかったね。よかったよかった。ちょっと一回お茶飲みますね。リアタイ発いらっしゃいませ。じゃあね、オープニングトークこれぐらいにしてスタートしていきますか。よーし。よかったね、ほんと。まあちょっとね、体力回復するまで、あとお尻が回復するまではね、たまりの配信ゆっくり楽しむといいと思います。おーし。退院はまだステイなどこれからですね。あ、そっかそっか。まだ検査とかじゃいっぱいする感じか。いやでもひとまず一旦じゃあお疲れ様だね。多分大丈夫だよ、そこまで。元気だったら。よかったよかった。ゆっくり休んでくれ、ほんとに。よーし、じゃあね。今日やるゲームは、じゃあ、スタンリーパラブルでいいのかな？ウルトラデラックス。このゲームなんかゲームに指示をされるんですけど、その指示をことごとく無視したりとかすると、なんかね、いろいろできるらしいゲームなので、ちょっとね、やっていこうかなって思います。大昔にさ、実況流行ったよね、これね。全然ね、見てなかったんだよ、これ。そう、無限ループしてるゲーム内で。じゃあウルトラデラックスやっていこうかなって思います。どういうゲームなの？こう指示中が出るっていうのは知ってるんだけどね。
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
これはスタンリーという男の物語。
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427.
なんか字幕のとこおかしくない？
He sat at his desk in room 427
黒巻きつけてるもしかして。
and buttons on a keyboard.Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push,
ね、ニコニコで流行ったイメージあるわ。
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day.
あ、やっぱあれだね。緑抜けてるわ。
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him
彼に
instructions,
指令を出す人も
call
会議
a
を開く
meeting,
人も挨拶
or
をする
even
人
say
さえ残っていませ
hi.
ん。
Never in all his years at the
そう、
company
ナレーションが
had
指示
this
中なんだよ
happened.
ね。
This complete isolation.
へー。
Something was very
いわゆる
clearly
トマリは
wrong.
指示待ち人間なわけですよ、このゲームの中でね。初見です。いらっしゃい
Stanley
ま
found
せ。よう
himself
こ
unable
そ。
to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
おー、これってさ、字幕さ、字幕というか音声日本語はないよね、さすがにね。なさそうだね。よし。で、今、外に出ましたみたいな字幕があったじゃん。これで、この人はこのまま外に出なさいということだよね。427。なんかクリックでカチャカチャできる。おー。これなんか入力とかできんの？ 38 度台から下がらなくてエライが、しっかり止まりの配信は、下がらなくてエライがしっかり止まりの配信はみたいな。エラいのかそれ。よいしょ。ドア閉めまーす。おー、なんかこれあれだね。もうちょっとさ、カメラの感度下げるか。カメラ感度あったあったあった。あ、これぐらいでいいんじゃない？もうちょっとあった方がいいか。ごめんなさい、セッティングから入るね。おー、あ、しんどいの方言なんだ。そっか。彼の同僚たちは全員いなくなってしまいました。ほー。会議室に向かってくださいと。おー。
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single
少しも変わらないし、決して物語
difference.
は進展しません
Nor
でした。
did it advance the story in any
これすごいよね。
way.
自分の行動に対してさ、字幕が出るんでしょ？すごくない？たまりたまりだ、いらっしゃいませ。
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to
じゃあ
click
20
the
回
door
ドアを
20
クリックしたとしよう。
I would say
それ
that's
どれ
the
か
kind
認
of
められ
effort
てもいい
that
と言えるでしょう。
was
これ、ともりの勝ち？
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing the for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do.
50回クリックしたらどうでしょう。そうだ、きっと50クリックですよ。 頼む。わあ、来た、まだある。
Feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
あー、もうさすがにないかな。なさそう。む。おー、なるほどね。そういうゲームなのね。417のクリックしまくればいいんだ、次。でもそれ指示中でしょ？どうしよっかな。たまにトイレ行きたいな。トイレじゃないの？なんかこのアセット見たことあるね。あ、417あるじゃん。
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 4
おー。数回のクリックじゃ収まらないよ。おお。なんもないんか？なんもないや。なるほど。なんかさ、会議室に行ってくださいみたいなの言ってたよね。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
左
he
の方
entered
の
the
ドアに
door
入り
on
ま
his
した。オッ
left.
ケー。
This was not the correct way to
こ
the
れは
meeting
会議室へ
room,
の
and
正しい
Stanley
道で
knew
は
it
ない。
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
閉じ込
stop
められ
by
た。
the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
ここどこ？なんか違うとこ出た。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
最初の左側のドアに入りました。あ、右だこれ。左、嫌だ。左をチラ見して、こっちに入ります。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
何年もクビにならなかったのが信じられませんだって。なるほど、武器とか落ちてないかな。あ、なんかこう、あ、高い。これあれだ、現場猫案件のとこだ。動いて、あ、やだ。
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
これ何？終わり？あ、起きた。4人なんだ。おはようございます。
All of his co-workers would go, oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, no. You can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
現場猫張ってる作業者見つけた。おもろ。
This room. But
これで左に行かずに
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
まっすぐ行ってさ、リフトみたいなのちゃんと乗った先ちょっと行ってみたくない？
Stanley was so bad at following directions.
あ、このゲームめっちゃエンディングあるんだ。そうなんだ。よいしょ。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Amazon って感じだね。
Really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
これ大丈夫これ？
The fact is that the
これタワーオブテラーだったら落とされるやつだよ。
All this time. There's someone you've been neglecting.
シリキュントゥンドゥの怒りに触れてない？大丈夫？
Please stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
まるで話を聞いてない？なんか暗いよ。うわー、びっくりした。お前ふざけんなよマジで。あなたが彼女に手を差し伸べる必要があるので。もしあなたが本当に他人の人に、他の人に信頼を受けるなら電話に出て。やだ。絶対怖いじゃん、こういう時の電話。これ SCP とかそういう関係なのかな。よいしょ、もしもーし。おー。スタンリーなの？ 427だ。なんか身長低くなってない？今日の仕事はどうだったのか教えて。うわー、びっくりした。
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? Who wanted to give their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
おー。あ、身長でかくなった。これ奥さん？
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
スタンリーって死んでんの？おはようございます。従業員番号427。プレス MOU はキーボード。嫌です。嫌です。嫌だ。もう。
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands
彼は
nothing
全
of
く何も
him.
求められない仕事をして彼が押すボタンは彼の存在自体がどうでもいいものであるということを思い起こさせます。B を押してください。M を押します。押さないと進まない？これ B。
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing
まさに言われ
exactly
た通
what
り
he's
ボタンを
told
押してい
to
る彼を
do.
見てくだ。
Now he's pushing a button.
今彼はボタンを押していま
Now
す。
he's
今
eating
ランチを
lunch.
食べています。
Now he's
家に帰り
going
ます。仕
home.
事に戻ります。
Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel
同情
sorry
さえ
for
する
him,
かもしれませ
except
ん。
that
し
he's
かし
chosen
これは
this
彼の
life.
選んだ人生なのです。従ってくだ
But
さい
in
って
his
ことだね、
mind,
ほんとね。
in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
お
From
ー。
behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions
彼の
into
デス
the
クの後ろから
unknown,
スタンリー。こっから
fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
閉じ込められて死亡ってこと？テレビを見るために F を押してください。F。
And so he began to fantasize
ね
about
え、
his
テレ
own
ビないん
job. 社
だけど。
会の歯車
になるっていうゲームだね。怖いね、これ。
all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished
地球上から
off
姿を
the
消
face
した
of
の
the
です。
earth. The thought excited him terribly.
少年たちと過ごすために X を押してください。
So he went further. He imagined that he
2つ
came
の
to
ドアが開い
two
ており、
open
そ
doors
のど
and
ちらを
that he
通る
could
こと
go
も想像
through
しました。
either. At last,
ついに選択です。
it barely even mattered what lay
扉の向こう
behind
に
each
何があるか
door.
さえほとんど
The
気にな
mere
らない
thought
ね。
that
なんだろ
his
うこれ。
decisions would mean something was almost too
すごい思考
wonderful
実験
to
されてる気
be
がする今。夕食の準備をするために T を押してください。
As he wandered through this fantasy
これ
world,
がうんちした
he
方。
began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many
黄色のラインがあり
directions.
ました。
And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it
そして
the
彼は
Stanley Parable.
子供たちにお話を読み聞かせするために O を押してください。O。
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head,
なんか
he
怖いんだけど、
relived
この
it
ゲーム。
again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope
そし
that
て
it
強
would
く願
never
いました。
end,
この自由
that
な
he
感
might
覚がいつま
always
でも終わら
feel
ないよう
this
に。
free. Surely there's an answer
全然
down
自
some
由
new
がないんだけど、
path.
これ以外のこと急にできないんだけど。
Perhaps if he played just one more time.
あ、からしにうんちありがとう、Thank you。あなたの妻に愛を伝えるために L を押してください。L。
But there is no answer. How could there
職
possibly
場に帰ってき
be?
た。
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has.
ね、なんか
Nothing
嫌な
has
コースある
changed.
ね。
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
寝るために J を押してください。J。
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this
こ
world
の
he
世界
can
で彼
never
は
be
観察者以
anything
外の
but an
何者にもな
observer.
れない
That
の
as
だ。
long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
へ
But he won't listen
ー。
to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this.
こちらをご覧くだ
Stanley,
さい。
the next time the screen asks you to push a button,
次に画面にあなたがボタンに押すように求めても押してはいけません。はい。押します。
you see? Can he just not hear
聞こえ
me?
ないだけなのかな？
How
怒
can
ら
I
れて
tell
る。
him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's
めっちゃ
electing
怒
to
られて
kill
る。
himself? How can I get him to see what I
彼
see?
が何を
How
見て
can
る
I
の
make
か分
him
かる
look
で
at
しょう。どうすれ
himself?
ば私は彼に。何も質問しないために F を押してください。やだ。これはなんか他のことできないの？そろそろ指示中に屈したくないんだが？どこもクリックできないな。しょうが
I
ない。
suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to.
お
But
ー。
I don't make the rules. I simply play to my
これ
intended
言うこと聞かないからあれだ、
purpose.
ちゃんと固定されてるんだ多
We're
分。
not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to
い
convey
やもう
this
伝
to
えな
him.
きゃ。
I'm compelled to.
お
I
ー。
must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
あ、今度こそ言うこと聞いてくれるようになるよねってことか。
And I tried again. And
死んで
Stanley
くだ
pushed
さ
a
い。
button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
なんかこれめっちゃ怖っ。こんまりいらっしゃいませ。で、再出発ってことか。新しい朝が来た。
All of his co-workers were gone.
希
What could it
望
mean?
の。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Oh.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
そういう感じなんだ。ってこと
When
は、
Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
もう右
he
の
entered
方
the door
は
on
用
his
事
left.
ないわけだよね。左行くか。ちょっと入ってから左。あーねー、そうい ことしないでよ開けてー。これ右クリックでまっすぐ進むの意味わかんなくない？おー。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
上の階にある上司の、そう、右クリックね、長押ししてるとこうやって前に進むの。上の階の上司の部屋に行けって言われてる。あ、なんか開いた。
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
くるりと振り返り、引き返していきましたが、さらにもう一回入りました。ドアも閉めます。
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
そういうのは関係ないんだね。なるほどね。もう一回入っちゃおう。もう一回入っちゃおう。何これ。
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
おー。なんかあるかな。物置には何もない？
Are you really still in the broom
あなたは本当にまだ物置にいるの？
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
何か説明してください。困ってる。これ困らせてるってことはトマリの勝ちみたいなところあるよね。さすがにもうないかな。
Realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
気になるよね、こういうのね。なんもないの、本当に。
Maybe to you this is somehow its own
独自の分岐点なのかもしれません。
Maybe when you go talk about this
あ
with
なたが
your
この
friends
ことに
you'll
つい
say,
て友達と話してる。
did you get the broom closet ending? The broom
物
closet
置エンドが
ending
一
was
番好きだったわって。
I hope your friends
しないよ、
find
そ
this
んな会
concerning.
話。あるかな。物置エンドないの？そう、何回までメッセージ変わるかなと思っちゃう
Stanley was
ね。
fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
ね、悪口言われてんだけど。
He probably got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also,
やばいだ
Stanley's
ろこい
addicted
つ。
to drugs and hookers.
めちゃめちゃ暴言言われるじゃん。これ物置まだなんかありそうだね。
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about
あなたは
what's
死
going
んだ
on
の
right
です。
now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here,
怒ってん
when
ね。
a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the
あなたは
keyboard.
キーボードの上に崩れ
Well,
落
in
ち
a
た。
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken
いや、
care
めっちゃ
of
怒ってるじ
before
ゃ
it
ん。
begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human
これが用意されてんのすごくない？
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species.
性を
Please
示してい
remove
る。
their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in
彼らに
on
テ
the
レビゲー
history
ムにお
of
ける物語
narrative
の
tropes
秘
in
話を。
video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
これあるな、多分エンディング。
When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
それ終わったら廊下に出てね。オッケー。
Ah, second player. It's good. You too. Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby who can hand the controls to. A fish?
ちゃんと2人目のプレイヤーですってい
You can
う体で
hammer out
話
the
してくれ
details.
るんだ
I'm not
ね。
particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
いや、これナレーションおもろいわ。 時間でね、多分ね。おー、これでどう？あ、もうこれで終わりかな。こう？あ、終わった。物置おもろいな。ここは
Coming to a staircase,
上の
Stanley
階にあ
walked
る上司の部
upstairs
屋へ
to
向
his
かいました。
boss's
はーい。
office.
うわ、なんかめっちゃ怖いんだけど。おー、急に怖い雰囲気になった。
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
スタン
He
リーはどう
considered
も
the
できなかった。
possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had
あ、君、
vanished.
ご検の
His
テンキューあり
boss
が
would
と
think he
う。
was crazy.
スパチャじゃ
And
ない、
then
メギ
something
フありが
occurred
とう
to
ございま
Stanley.
す。
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am
今
crazy.
スタックしたかと思っ
All of my
た。
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
ギフトを受け取った人、おめでとうね、ありがとう。Thank you。
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange
奇妙なことに気がつき
observations.
始めました。
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked
下
down?
を向いても自分の足
Why
元が
did
見えない？
doors
い
close automatically behind him wherever he went?
や、これ見た
And
ら
for that
結果が
matter,
決まって
these
しまう
rooms
か
were
ら、
starting
今
to
と
look
まりは
pretty
下を見なければ
familiar.
いいってこと
Were
だ
they
よね。
simply repeating? No,
そう、
Stanley
今
said
下
to
を見ち
himself,
ゃ
this is
ダ
all
メです。
too
とまりの負
strange.
けま
This
す、これ
can't be
は。
real. And at last, he came to the
ド
conclusion
アが閉ま
that
ってる
had
のも
been
と
on
ま
the
りが
tip
ク
of
リック
his
してるだけ
tongue.
と。
He
そういう
just
ことにしてお
hadn't
こう
found
ね。
the words for it. I'm dreaming.
ドリーミ
This is all a dream.
ン。メイドリーミン。
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer.
あ、
An
ループしてる。
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He
ルー
wasn't
プして
going
る、
to
ルー
lose
プ
his
してる。
job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll
も
wake
うす
up
ぐ目が
soon.
覚めるんだ
I'll have
ろ
to
う。
go back to my boring
あ、
real-life
す
job
ごい、
pushing
めっちゃループ
buttons.
して
I
る。
may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he
へ
imagined
ー。
himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he
なんかで
imagined
かくなってる、
himself
とまり。
soaring through space on a magical star
違
field,
う？
and it too appeared. It was so
怖い。
much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
何それ？絶対
How
怖いこと
was
やっ
he
てるじゃん。
remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered
Oh.
Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in
行
my
動したり
head
考えたりするすべ
dictating
てを口
everything
実す
that
る
I'm
声が
doing
聞
and
こえてるのだろう。
thinking?
ねえ、本当だよ
Now
ね
the。voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
何
I'm
が起こってる
dreaming
の？
about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
浮いてるのか。
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth
え、
was
上
that
向
of
くと上
course
に行くとかそういうこ
this
と？
was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take
あ、
responsibility
ナレータ
for
ーが言ってる
himself?
ことが起こってるんだ。
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in
お
his
う
life.
おうおう。
Now hearing the voice speak these words was
スタンリーはかなり
quite
ショッ
a
ク
shock
で
to
した。
Stanley. After all, he knew for certain beyond
あ、
a
ダ
doubt
メか。
that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice
たま
not
にいらっ
seem
しゃいませ。
float and
よ
make
うこ
the
そ。
magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This
Oh.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it.
彼はそ
He
れを
would
証明
prove
するの
that
です。
he
彼は
was
冷
in
静であった。
control,
これは夢なの
that
だ
this
と。
was a dream.
へえ。
So he closed his eyes gently
カー
and
ビィ
he
みたいな
invited
体験して
himself
る。
to wake up. He felt the cool
ひん
weight
やり
of
し
the
たブラ
blanket
ンケ
on
ッ
his
トを
skin,
肌に感じ、
the
背中に
press
ま
of
ったり
the
する圧
mattress
力
on
を
his
感じ
back,
ました。
the fresh air of
外
a
の世界
world
の新
outside
鮮な
this
空
one.
気。
Let
そして
me
パ
wake
トラちゃん
up,
の
he
ASMR。
thought to himself. I'm through with
こ
this
の夢
dream.
はもうおしま
I
い。もう
wish
終わり
it
に
to
して
be
くれ。
over.
へ
Let me
え。
go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
ボタンを押し続け
I
させ
want
てく
my
れ。へ
apartment
え。
and my wife
社畜に戻りたいんだ。
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
お
My life is
ー。
normal.
私は普通すべてがうまくいく。
Everything
え、
will
なん
be
かさ、この
fine.
スタンリーが何なのかちょっと気になってくる
I
ね、だんだんね。
am okay.
私は大丈夫だ。あ、目覚めた、やったー。お、メイドリーミン終わった？
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
そして全ては真っ暗になりました。怖いこれ。起きない夢って確かに怖いよね。これはマリエラという名の女の物語。人の名前に勝手に足すのやめてくんない？
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this. And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned around. 止まるんじゃねえぞ。へえ。これで、今度マリエラになったってこと？あ、でも427だ。これたまりマリじゃないな。スタンリーだな。 All of his co-workers were gone.
あ、また最初からだ。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
へえ。ちょっと今度上に行くパターン見てみるか。ちゃんと指示に従った方がある程度シナリオはちゃんと進むんだね。データストームの先に俺はいるぞってお前はいないんだよ。やだよ、オルガがなんかパーメットスコア8になったら会えるみたいな。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
上の階に上司の部屋、いやらしいなんか。これ上司部屋？すごいなんかパンだ。おー、エレベーターある。あー、乗れるじゃん。おー、音流れた。サンシャインの上に行くエレベーターみたい。サンシャインとかってさ、上に行くエレベーター乗るとさ BGM 流れ始めて、エレベーターによってはこのさ上の明かりがさなんかプラネタリウムみたいになるよね。やばい、これもしかしてまたシリキュントゥンドゥの呪いだわ。これ叩き落とされるかもしれない。だって上がりすぎじゃない？これ本当に乗ってはいけない。今だったら引き返せるみたいな音声流れるやつじゃん。あ、止まった。あれまたパンダだ。これもしかして上に行ってなかったってこと？揺れてるだけだ。あ、ハイタワー3世あるじゃん。ここハゲタワー3世の家。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to enter the correct code by sheer luck. amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
わ、すごい。これもう入力できないの？できないんだ。怖くない？この先。小麦粉？違う。ねえ、またおどろおどろしい感じになってるって。え、そこしかない？これベイオハザードじゃん。下。いや、やっぱ上。下上。上。ねえ。どうして？
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now? When for years it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape!
Although this passageway had the word escape written, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to lift. Nope. Still on board with death?
どういうこと？スタンリー実験されてるよね、これね。うわ、なんかある、あそこ。みんなどっちがいい？どっちみたい？エスケープとマインドコントロール。どっちみたい？ちょっとお茶飲みます。ボスがいる方、じゃあこっち行くか。行きまーす。
The lights rose on an enormous room
モニター画
packed
面
with
で
television
運営尽くされ
screens.
て、すご
What
い。
horrible secret did this place hold?
こんだけあったら2時3時ライブは全員見れるんじゃない？
Strength to find out.
すごい。逃げれば一つ、進めば二つ、戻れば全部。全部戻ってるよ、それ。これは？
Now the monitors jumped
すごい。
their true nature revealed.
これデスゲームかなんかやらされ
Each
て
bore
る？
the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
やばー。怖い。社員番号なん全部そうなんだね。これは飛び上がり自殺？
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe.
こんなもの
It
真
couldn't be
実なはずがないね。
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
うわー、なんか
Was
鳥
this
肌
the
立った
only reason he
今。
was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
マリエラさんも多分ここの人なんだろうね。
No. He refused to believe it.
彼は受け入れる
He
ことがで
couldn't
きなかっ
accept
た。
it. His own life
自
in
分の人
someone
生を
else's
他の人が操
control.
作していた。ありえない。
Never. It was unthinkable.
ねえ、ちょっと
Wasn't
ゾッ
it?
とするよね、この
Was
手
it
のやつ
even
ね。
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the
でもなん
world?
かこういうさ、書籍多いよね。こう自分の人生は
It was
実は
the
誰かに
proof.
操られ
The
ていたみ
heart
たい
of
な
the
ね。
operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from
あ、
this
すごい、なんか
very
いろいろ装
place.
置あ
And
る。
as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once
サンリーじゃあ
and
これを
for
全部
all.
壊しに来たってこと？わ、なんかある。めっちゃ面白いこれ。5回押したら爆発する？なんだ ろう、音違う。すごーい。さあ行くぞスタンリー、壊すぞ。この部屋のエネルギー源を見つけたとき、この恐ろしい場所とそれを象徴する全てを終わらせることが彼の義務と責任であると知りました。おー、システムパワー。
Oh, Stanley. You didn't just activate the control key. After they kept you enslaved all these years ago, and you tried to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley. Help all the effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to
あなたはもうそれに構わないで制御装置を切り、そして出ていくはずでした。
If you want to throw my story off track,
支配者に俺はなる。残念だけどあなたは自分が思っているほど力はありませんよ。例えばこうすれば分かってもらえると思うんですけど、スタンリーはふと彼がネットワークの緊急爆破システムを起動させたことに気づきました。
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode.
核爆弾が爆発するんだって。
How long until detonation then?
言うなればふむ。
Say, 2 minutes.
2分かな。
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desire. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it on? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These number buttons, these color buttons, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I will watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first. So you take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left. 30 seconds until a big boom. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully?
ちょっと延長してもう一回延長してよ。さすがにさノーヒントすぎるって。
All the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in
少しでも生き残る可能性があるとこに行くか。
happily ever up.
こここれなんかさ、ちゃんとエンディングあるってこと？ちょっとあれさ、クリアしたいよな。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
死んじゃった。なんか知ってる人さ、あれってさ、ちゃんとあるの？生存。
He entered the door on his left.
あ、やっぱあるんだ。ちょっと行ってみるか、もう一回。
Yet there was not a
お
single
はようござい
person
ます。
here
今日も一日
either.
働きましょう。お
Feeling
はよ
a
うご
wave
ざい
of
ます。
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
スイッ
office.
チ入れなければいいん
Coming
だ
to
ね。
a
オフにすれ
staircase,
ばいいんだね。
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
じゃあ、シリキュントゥンドゥのとこに行って、よいしょー。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
5428
not an
だっけ？
indication of any human life.
あー、間違
What
え
could it mean? Stanley
番号
wondered
どれ？
aloud. To nobody. He began
あ、
wildly
7000あり
tearing
がとう。
through
トライアゲ
papers
イン、
on the
Thank you。
boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf,
おー。
looking behind paintings,
いいよ、来いよ。
desperate for clues to his situation.
2時3
But
時
his attention was caught by a
2485
keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
違うんか
And so
い
the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number,
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly get
花
it
さんありがとうね。
by
Thank
simply
you。
pushing random buttons
さあ、こ
on
こ
the
が開き
keypad.
ます。
Stanley happened to input the correct code
Oh.
by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly
で、
opened
これでコン
passageway.
トロールシステム行って、で、ロード入るでしょ？あれさー、スイッチ入れない以外にもあの状態になったらクリアできるのあるかな？どうなんだろう。よーし。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
Someone
large
take control
door
of
that
it,
read
huh?
Mind Control Facility.
あったと思う。そうなんだ。なんかそれ見たくない？なんか分かる人いたらネタバレでもいいから
The
やり方
lights
変えてもいい
rose
よ、あ
on
れだ
an
ったら。
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place
Oh.
hold? Stanley thought to himself.
ね、ネタゲーかと思ったらちゃんと夢中になっちゃうよ
To
ね。
find out.
もうちょっとでも自分で謎解きする？
Now the monitors
ね、
jumped
そう、
to
スイッチ
life.
入れてのクリアエンドありそうだよ
Their true
な。
nature revealed. Each
あ、オンに
bore
し
the
たらないん
number
だ。
of
オ
an
ッケーオッケー、じゃあオ
employee
フ
in
に
the
しよ
building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
オンとオフだけなんだ。ありがとう。
individuals
Thank you,
reduced
thank
to
you.
images on a screen. And Stanley
エンド多すぎて把握できない。それ
eternally
だ。
monitored in this place where freedom meant
お
nothing.
ー。いや、このゲーム思ったよりおもろいぞ。よーし。
This mind control facility, it was too
Elevator
horrible
が
to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really
降り
been
て
under
きて。
someone's control all this time?
あ、オン
Was
に
this the
したら
only
ナレー
reason
ターに
he
煽
was
られ
happy
続け
with
るだ
his
けなん
boring
だ。
job? That his emotions had
じゃあ
been
あのスイッチ自
manipulated
体
to
もさ、なん
accept
かあんま意味ないけど、
blind
さっきみたいに煽れるように置いてあるって感じなんだね。
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
こいつの
His
行く
own
末気にな
life
る。
in someone else's control? Never. It was
ちょっ
unthinkable.
としますよね。そん
Wasn't
なこと
it?
可能なので
Was
しょ
it
うか？
even possible? Had he truly spent his entire
ついた
life
よ。
utterly blind to the world?
ウィーン。
But here was the proof. The heart
とりあえ
of
ず
the
パワーの
operation.
とこに行っ
Controls
て、
labeled with emotions.
思わせぶりなだけなん
Or
だね。
sad. Or content.
いや、めっちゃおもろいな、こ
Walking,
れ。
eating, working. All of it
エンド全部
monitored
見
and
たいね、
commanded
できれ
from
ば。
this very place. And as
さ
the
すがに
cold
ともに
reality
今日
of
プレイ
his
しては無理だろ
past
うけ
began
ど。
to sink in, Stanley decided that this
じゃあオ
machinery
フをします。おー。ノンタイムでオフをしに行ったぞ。あ、2回目のオンだとナレーターの
and
言
a
うこと違
rising
うんだ。
chill of uncertainty. Was it
終わ
over?
った？
Yes.
やった！彼は勝ったのです、本当に。
He had defeated the machine.
彼は機械を破壊して
Unshackled
彼自身
himself
を
from
誰かの支
someone
配から
else's
解放しまし
command.
た。
Freedom was
自
mere
由はすぐそばにあったの
moments
で
away.
す。おー。
Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many
動けるよう
puzzles
になった。
still lay unsolved. Where had his
同僚たちはどこへ行ったのだろうね。
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized
これなんか
none
途
of
中で
this
落とされ
mattered
そうじゃ
to
な
him,
い？
for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
空めっ
No
ちゃ見え
longer would
る。
anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
2021年の時点でウィキだったら18種類エンドがある。へ
and
え。
that was all he needed to know.
あ、
It
ギア
was
キン始まるよ
perhaps
これ。
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
開かれたドアへ足を一歩踏み入れました。おー。
Stanley felt the cool breeze
わ、
upon
す
his
ごい、ちゃん
skin,
と逃げれ
the
た。
feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path
ここはどこな
before
の？
him. This was exactly the way, right
十字語
now,
作んない
that
と。
things were meant to happen. And Stanley
へー
was happy.
ちゃんと生存エンドなのこれ。おー。あ、ここで語られてるなさ、オンにした時に
All
ナ
of
レー
his
ターが白状
co-workers
してる。
were gone.
なるほど
What
な。
could it mean? Stanley
自由意
decided
志
to
の
go
ない
to the
指示
meeting
通りに
room.
進んで支
Perhaps
配
he
から
had
解
simply
放さ
missed
れ
a
る。
memo.
結局でも自分はその指示通りに動いたから支配はされてたよねってことなんだね。へえ。スタンリーがハイラル作る話。時の賢者かもしれん
When
な。
Stanley came to a set of two
ちょっと
open
さ、エスケープの
doors,
方行ってみ
he
よう
entered the
か。
door on his left.
スタンリーが結局何者なのかが全然分かってないからね。
Yet there was not a single person here
一番無
either.
難だけど何も起こらないエン
Feeling
ド
a
って感
wave
じ。多
of
分そうだと
disbelief,
思う。
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase,
Oh.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
これでこっちもなんかあったよね。トイレ？トイレだ。トイレこんな広いんだ。鏡にも映んない。ちょっと移動方法の癖が強いな。許してよ。
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks.
あ、録音しちゃった。
Not a living soul
666
anywhere.
悪魔の数
Could
字。
he really be all alone? This was too much
2845。
for Stanley to take. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
あ、早いとちゃんとここまでなんだ。
So
こうい
he
う感じなんだ。
relaxed for a few moments with some calming new
こ
age
こも開き
music.
そう。ねえ、先読みされてるって全部。ねえ。うわー、開けてよ
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened
いや、これ
closet.
すごいね。こんなとこまで読まれてんだね。すごいな、ほんと。よし、下行きまーす。ここ本当に好き。おもろいよね。なんか思考が読まれてる時の動きってやっぱおもろいよな。へえ。すごいね、これをさ、作ったのがすごいよね。その音声いっ
Stanley
ぱい
walked
入れて
straight
ね
ahead。through the large door that read Mind
じゃあ逃げ
Control
ます。
Facility. Although this passageway had the
この
word
通路には脱
escape
出と書
written
か
on
れて
it,
います。
the truth was that at the end of this hall,
死
Stanley
んじゃうん
would
だ、
meet
この
his
先で。
violent death.
まあでもね、そんな死の運命なんかトマリが否定してやるよ。
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every
引き返す
opportunity
チャ
to
ンスが
turn
あったの
around
で
and
引
get
き返
back
しま
on
せん。
track. At
プ
this
レイヤーがやり
point,
そうなこ
Stanley
と
was
全部に
making
ナレ
a
ーションついてるよ
conscious,
ね。
concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
己の死に直面するのです。いや、こんなんで死ぬわけないよな。あー、さすがに死にましたわ。これは死にましたわ。生きてる？
As the machine whirred into
機械が
motion,
音を立てて動き
Stanley
出し、
was
スタンリー
inched
の終わりへと
closer
じ
and
りじり
closer
近
to
づいて
his
いた頃、
demise.
プレ好きだ。
He reflected that his life had been of no
彼は
consequence
結局自分の
whatsoever.
人生には何もなかったなと。
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
びっくりした。なんでそういうことすんの？ナレーター変わった。タイトル？
And yet it would be just a few
それでも
minutes
数分後、
before
スタンリーは
Stanley
この
would
ゲームを再
restart
開し
the
相変わらず
game
元気で
back
オ
in
フィ
his
スに戻っ
office
てくる
as
のです。
alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
何？なんでナレーター変わったの？
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
あ、オフィスだ。
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
なんかマップ少ないよね、そう考えるとね。2つのドアというセットがかなり初期の段階で、スタンリー・パラブルのデザインの具体的なものの一つとなりました。あー、左と右どっちに行くみたいなやつか。めっちゃめたくないここ。めたいよね。スタンリーのパソコン。なにこれ。開発ルームみたいになってるよね。これなんかある？もしかして。スイッチもそこにあったね、今ね。ポケモンゲーム内のゲームフリーク社みたい。確かに。オフィス。ボタンの音。何の意味があるんだろう、ここに。メンテナンスルーム。すごい、なんか博物館だ。開発当初、私たちはスタンリーがエイリアンと戦場で戦うエンディングをデザインしました。なるほど。何の意味があるのこれって。ナレーターのメール。いや、違うの。うちの担当ナレーターどこ行ったのこれ。なんか音変わるそこだけ。なんだゲルテナ店みたいな感じだね。あ、エレベーターだ。なにカウントダウンエンドの初期バージョンに登場した机の一つです。押せない。あなんか見つけた。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
これをオンにすると
Can you see?
わかりますか？どんなに彼らがお互いを必要としているかわかりますか？
No,
いや、
perhaps
違
not.
うかもしれない。時
Sometimes
々
these
こう
things
いうの
cannot
見
be
えてない
seen.
こともありますし。
But listen to me.
またここになった。
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
君かわいいね。ボイチェンチェンに負けずに頑張ってコラボしてたね。いや、遅延があったのディスコードだぞ、この間の君ひなのやつは。
Only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let
あ、 死んだ。なんだそれ。これさ、ナレーションどうなってんだろう。ライデン、今すぐにゲーム機の電源を切るんだ。あ、違う。死ぬ前にゲーム終了してって言ってたんか。なるほどな。あ、電話鳴ってる、確かに。電話。もしもし。
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify?
いたずら電話やめてください。なんかナレーション出てこなくない？ほら。ナレーション出てこないよ。ここ開いてなかったよね。
New content?
あ、ナレーション出てきた。
What does that mean? New content?
指示中生きてたんだ。ね、これやだ、頭にまた潰されるって、これ。絶対またプレス機じゃん。おー、やめてよ。初見です。声かわいいです。最高です。ありがとう。Thank you.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
おー。
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
あ、マジで追加要素部分なんだ。
Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
フナフで見たぞこれ。確かに。
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an
ってことはこれまだあんま見たことない人の方が多いや
I'm
つ？
sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
ニコニコの実況だとさっきのとこまでみたいな感じだったの？もしかして。
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we
私たちはどこへ移動すべきなのでしょうか？
Oh,
開けて。
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
こういうとこさ、隙間に手入れたら痛そうだよね、怖い。
I have to say, initial impressions of
や
Stanley
だよ、
Parable Ultra
エレベーターで上
Deluxe
行くとすぐシリキュントゥンで出てくるからな。
It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content,
あっ
Stanley.
たー。おー。
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
あ、ジャンプできるようになった。これ何の意味があるのこれ。おおジャンプできなくなった。
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
残りジャンプ回数だったのかこれ。ね、新コンテンツ終わっちゃったんだけど。おーい。なんだよそれ。
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not
ナレ
positive.
ーション起こってる。
It's just elevators and jumping.
いや、これでエキサイティングな新コンテンツはちょっとね、許せないよ。
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
めっちゃ怒ってるじゃん。
1,000 hours of
スチーム
new
レビューでめっちゃ
content.
書かれるやつよ。
Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
おー。これで
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
これマ
This
ジ
is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together.
これマジで DLC なの？
What do you say, friend?
え？あ、でも変わった。いつものとこじゃない。
Psst, Stanley, come over here. In the
行
vent.
きま
I
せん。
want to show you something.
あ、でもオフィスだ。これは言っとくか、さすがに。なになに？おー。あ、またこっちだ。何があるの？
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying
ゴールデンアイ
the new Ultra
00764 の
Deluxe
やつ
content
の
turned out to be?
任
Well, it
天
got me
堂
thinking
64 の
about
やつの
how
トイレの上じゃ
how
ん。
much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find
あ、
it.
すごいなんか
Just our little secret. Take a look.
めっちゃ光ってる。あ、お外。
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
おー。
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
こういうスタッフルーム的なのがあれかな、追加のコンテンツだったんかな。セブンデイズトゥーダイっぽい。ちょっとわかる。お金。おー、あ、実績だ。なんかいろいろ賞みたいなのもらったんこれ。あ、エンディングの一つじゃん。そう、この思い出語られてもプレイヤーはわかんないよ
And
な。
over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
なんかめっちゃ
Where
嬉しそう
so
に
many
自慢してくる
games
じゃ
that
ん。
aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art. Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created.
絶対嘘じゃん。
Every game ever created. That's how grand and
自分で立ててるよね、
all-encompassing
これ
the
ね、
original
絶対。
Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3.
ツイッ
It
ターで
was
バズった
all
や
of
つ
them.
印刷して
And
飾
now
ってる人みたい。
it's nothing.
泊まりからのリプライ
It's no
額縁に入れた人いたもんね。
It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
おー。スカイ
Here's
リムにペルソナ
another
3
movie
ね。
passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
あ、9点
Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
おもろいな、それ下げられたの。開けてそれ。こっち開いた。
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait,
何これ。
hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
ちょっと不穏になってきた。スチームコンテナだ。
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
ね、バットレビューめっちゃ来るんじゃないのこれ。
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
開発側がいじるのめっちゃおもろいな。
I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into
Steam
the
reviews
Stanley
って書いてある
Parable,
もん。
but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
おー。ここ開かないんだね。なんか BGM とかまで悲しくしてんのめっちゃおもろ。
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea of
アイ
the
デアは良
game
か
is
ったが
good,
読み飛ばし。
for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you
え、これ
can.
めっちゃおもろいじゃん。
This is actually quite shocking for me.
本編こっちの方が面白いんじゃないのもし
I
かし
had
て。
always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather
ユーザー名あるもん
terse
ね
to
こ
begin
れ。
with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel
え、
as
これ
light
ゲー
and
ムにした
airy
の
as
す
it...
ごい
No,
な。
I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't.
へー。
Yeah. What an awful memory to have to hold on
次
to.
は
These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel
おー。
like a failure. Like I let these people
これ
down.
DLC これだったら
Perhaps
普
the
通にお
Stanley
もろい
Parable
な。
isn't quite as sterling as I... What's this one got to say?
これは何が言いたいんだ？
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator
ナレ
can
ーターの
catch
何が起
up
こっ
with
て
his
いるかというくどい
long-winded
説明のために。い
explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
やもうなんかさ、ちょっとわかるのが嫌だよな。
A skip button. Well, yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it
次こっ
couldn't
ち
hurt.
どっち
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
おー。あ、スキップボタン
And
だ。
here it is. Go ahead and give it... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe
30分から45分
30,
ぐらい
45 minutes? It's not
どうしても耐えられないって
unendurable
こ
by
と
any
じゃない
means,
け
but it's,
ど、
well, there's really only
まあ
so
取り
much I
留め
can
もなく
ramble
自分
on
自
to
身
my...
に。
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
お
You've just
ー。
been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room.
部屋の出口があり
Stanley,
ませ
the
ん。
door is gone. It's completely gone.
そうだね、消えちゃった
I've
ね。
looked at it from every angle. I've checked. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
なんか
You're
寂しそう。
back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to
やっと
again.
誰かと話ができる。
Stanley,
1週間ぶり
Or 2 weeks.
あれ
Oh, hello. It's you.
ito.
You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think
私た
about
ちに
you
ついて
and
考
about
える時
us
間があ
and
りま
about
した。
everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a
1
year.
年後、私は記録を取るのをやめましただって。
Not move for one entire year. Let me describe
説
it
明させてもらい
for
ますね。
you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret
5
for
億
the
年ボタ
longest
ンやり
time.
そうだよね。
Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see
ごめんね、たまにどっち口調だから押しちゃうんだよ、こういうの。あ、動かなくなっちゃった。おー。死んじゃった？
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Where are the
jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed it.
あ、死んじゃった。嘘嘘、ごめんごめんごめん。生き返って生き返って。よみがえれよみがえれ。よみがえれよみがえれ。なんかピチョンって音したよ。
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
もう一回。なんか水ピチャピチャしてるよね。怖い、めっちゃ怖いこれ。え、やだやだやだやだ。こっち？あ、壊れた。すごい。これ外出れるんじゃない？出れないよ。もう一回。おー。あ、やだー。ハムシの音だ。おー。しかもちゃんと、うわー、めっちゃ時間経過してる。すごー。神秘的。え、みんなだったらこういうボタンあったら押す？あ、また世界壊れちゃったの？え、怖っ。めっちゃ怖いんだけどこれ何の音？なんか宇宙人かなんかいない？あ、外だ。もう一回押そう。あ、もう押せないんだ。これが人類の慣れ果てか。ある意味自由にはなってるな。さあどこ行こうかな。この上はなんもなしと。よーし、じゃあ泊まりの冒険はここから始まった。ガチでなんもないじゃん。ゼルダのタイトル出てきそうメモリールームもなくなっちゃった。わー、帰ってきた。で、結局この世界は何なんだって話だよな。
He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support.
まだ見れてないものがあるよね、多分ね。
So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
これさ、どうしよう、どっち見に行った方がいい？真相分かった方がいいんだったら多分こっちだよね。 ケネスショートから来ました。いらっしゃいませ。ようこそ。視聴してんな。ニューコンテンツだもんね。いや、こっち見たいよな。
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
おー。あ、右のルートも回収できた。そうなんだ。左はもう結構回収した？もしかして。どうなんだろう。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief.
右行った方がいいんだったらもう一回始めればいいんかな。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
右見た方がいろいろ見れそうな感じするんだよね、多分ね。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
調べてみるか。
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
開かない。
The lounge was sublime.
右側の方はさ、上下どっちののが
What was
結
it
構見
about
た方が
this
いいやつだろう
room
ね。
that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
エンディングなんか見たいよね、ちゃんとね。あ、これ見てないのか、とまり。これ見てないよね、
And
多
so
分
he
ね。
detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
あ、これ会議室の方か。じゃあメンテ下降りるか。おー、これ見たい。これは何なんだろう。
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander
彼はさまよい
about
さら
and
に
get
ルートを
even
外れてい
further
こうと
off
しました。
track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's,
あの左
left.
ターンライト。おー。
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
そうだよね。
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute,
じゃ
please?
あここだ。
Now, let's
さて
see.
どれど
We
れ。
went down right, left,
右左下
down,
左右
left,
BA。
right. Yep, okay,
Okay,
yes.
ここ。
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this
そっ
way.
ちかい。聞かれそう大丈夫？こっちか。あ、結局ここ見に来れるんだ。
No.
Dammi
This
no.
isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
スタンリー目を閉じて嫌です。
Okay. We just have to get back to Oh,
お
who am I
ー、
kidding?
ここも来れるん
It's
だ。
rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable.
お
How
ー。
about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart
Yeah,
the
restart
game
し
from
な
the
いよ、とまり
beginning.
は。
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay. From the
おー。
top.
あ、リスタートされた。なん
All
で
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
これさ、
Stanley
真相
decided
に
to
た
go
ど
to
り
the
着くのは
meeting
どのエ
room.
ンドなんだろう
Perhaps he had
ね。
simply missed a memo.
どっからなんだろう。あれ自分でリスタートしたらな、あ、
When Stanley... Wait.
扉変わってる。
What? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game.
やだ
over
やだやだ
completely
やだやだ
fresh.
やだ。
Everything should be... Oh, did
しません。
something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Oh,
なに
no.
なになにこ
Why
れ。
am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago.
めっちゃ
I
気
know
に
for
なるこ
sure
こ。
that it's here somewhere. Okay then.
オッケー、じゃあ
It's an
冒険だ。
adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's
あ、
find
めっちゃいた。
the
右開いた
story.
右。あ、そこは一緒なんだ。なんかありとあらゆるところの扉開いてないこれ。おー。出ます、おやすみ。おやすみ。あ、やだ。何これ。バカ開いてるじゃん。
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a
あ、でもな
story
んか
here
ここっ
before.
ぽいね。
Do we need to restart the game again?
これに
Well, I
行く
find it
か。
unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than
ループ
this.
してる
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
めっちゃループしてた。そういうことか。ショートから来ました。いらっしゃいませ。ようこそ。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
ちょ
he
っともう
has
一回
simply
行ってみ
missed
た
a
ら
memo.
変わるかもね。あ、てかあれじゃん、ニューニューコンテンツなくなってるじゃん。
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and
別
see
の
if
方
we
向に
missed
戻ってみ
anything?
ませんか？嫌です。戻んないとダメか。かわいいね、フィギュア欲しい。わかる、フィギュア欲しい。こっちとかは開かないんだ。おー。
Aha! I knew we'd
あ、なんか
missed
新
something.
しいとこ
The
だ。
story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story.
行
Okay,
き止まり
let's head
だ。
back the other way and retrace our steps.
これまたさ、閉じ込められちゃうんじゃないこれ。うわ、汚な。やば、ここ。
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all.
バイオ
Is
ハ
this
ザ
the
ードだ。
story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
初見です、マリさん
Do you
かわいい。ありが
remember,
とう。
Stanley?
Thank you.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what
こんにちは、
we
い
were
らっしゃいませ。
supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
You
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work,
どういう
and
こ
it
と
really
そ
paid
れ。
off. So, good job. Oh no.
おー。
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you
これ
didn't
戻れ
put
ない
in
もん
any
ね。
actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
ここ開くんかな。
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time.
リスタート
I
しなくて
have
は。
to
ああ、またリスター
restart.
トだ。
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we
めっ
don't
ちゃ
get
引いてる
lost,
じゃん、
I've
せ
employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
あ、これさっき
Just
さ、
follow
あ
the
れ
line.
だよね、部屋に閉じ込められた時に言ってたさ、黄色いラインってこれか。ちょっと従ってみるか、これは。なんこれ、なんこれ。
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Nope. Who would have thought? Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination,
あ、す
even
ご
if there's
い。
no
め
story
っちゃ
there?
誘導されて
Or to put it
る。
another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
お
Simply by the
ー。
act of moving forward, are we implying a
ちょっ
journey
と遊び始め
such
てるな。
that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure
どこ
where
を目
I
指
was
してるの
going
か
all
見
the
失い
way.
ました。
You know
おふ
what?
ざけんな
I
よ、お
think what we
前。
need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
こっちはうわー、びっくりした。ふざけんなよ、マジで。めっちゃ楽しそうじゃん。これさ、BGM うるさくない？あ、うるさかった。おー。
Cut the music.
焼きのショートめっちゃおもろい。やった、ありがとう。
Stanley, this fern will be very important
シダっ
later
て
in
何？
the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
何も見落とさない。シダって何？葉っぱ？これ？手前の草これ？これを見落とさないでねって言われてたの？あれがあるとこに行けってこと？あ
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
シダ。伏線だよって教えてくれてるんだ。めっちゃ分岐してるじゃん。困ったな。こっち行ってみるか。違うな。こっちだ。おー。めっちゃ近いじゃん、ここ。
No, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? After we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
結
Restart.
局ついちゃうんだ、ここ。おー、で、今度はまたこれを辿ってってくださいねって
You
こ
know
とね。
what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
ちゃんと誘導してくれてる
This
じゃ
all
ん。
sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
どこも開かない。あ、開いた。ストーリーラインは信じられないってことか。
This is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
新しい道開きすぎだろこれ。あ、また袋工事してるよ。
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
ぐるぐるだこれ。もう道になった。すごくないこのゲーム。
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
これフラグ管理めっちゃすごいねこのゲーム。また自由に出てって。あ、消えた。
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a
1分
minute.
間ぐるぐる歩いてみましょう。
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door.
あ、こっちクリックできない。こっちしか開かないやつだ。
Means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door
流れるように逆回り。それは当然だよ。
And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the
右の
correct
側が
one.
正解だ。
Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny awaits.
開いた。なにこれ。
Oh, hold up. What's this? The confusion ending.
あ、もしかしてこれ全部？
That's what this is. It's all one giant ending. And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all
なにこれ。
determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again.
こんなフラグあん
Am
の？
I
や
just
ばくな
supposed to
い？
forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
エンドリストだよね、多分ね。
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget
今ま
what's
での
going
エンディン
on.
グ
I
の
don't want to be
っていう
trapped
か
like
そのリ
this.
スター
I
ト回数
won't
のあれか、こ
restart the
れ。
game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
今4回目のリスタート。なる
And
ほ
the
ど
timer
ね。
stopped. Does that mean did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule?
あ、8回目のリスタートでスタンリー死ぬって書いてあ
Will
る。
someone come for us? Will something happen?
へ
So, okay.
え。で
I
もこ
guess
この
now
ス
we
ケ
just
ジュールを見
wait.
つけるだも
You
ん
know,
ね。
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
びっくりした。これがじゃあ6回目のやつってこと？
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
右まだ回収してない様子あるかな？
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
い
perfectly
ずれは
well.
8回目のリスタート
Perhaps
が
he
そういうこ
wanted
と
to
じゃ
stop
な
by
い？
the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
ちょっとあれだね、メンテナンスルームのところからさ、
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to
その
business,
ままさ、まっす
Stanley
ぐ
took
進ん
the
で会議
first
室行った
open
らなん
door
かあ
on
る
his
か
left.
な？で、ここが開いたっけ？あ、ここ見たか。
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door,
飛び降りた
and
電
got
話が
back
な
on
い？
track.
おー。これ飛び降りって最初にやったやつじゃなくて、
Yet
とま
there
り
was not
が。
a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
一
disbelief,
回なんかさ、一番最
Stanley
初飛び降り
decided
た
to
の
go
そういうや
up
つじゃ
to
な
his
かったっけ？
boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
それ一回やってるやつだよね、多分ね。こっちとかなんか意味ないのかな？ドアが閉じる前に戻るとか？そう、なんか最初多分飛び降りたやつがその死亡のやつじゃないかな。これも下に行ったりとかは特にないんだね。ってことはこっちのエンドをあんま回収する必
Okay,
要
I
ない
think we
か
all know
な。
the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new
すごい勝手に開いた。
Kill surprise.
なるほど。これあれかな、コントロールマインドコントロール施設に一瞬入ってから引き返してみようか。省略されるんだ。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
これまっす
Mind
ぐ歩いて
Control Facility.
で引き返して引き返せない。こんばんは、初見です。いらっしゃいませ。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
この辺スキップされないってことはまだあるのかな？
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
ね、ドア閉
Did
じ
he
ちゃっ
have the
た。
strength to find out?
これもうこっちなんもないんでリスタートしちゃっていいかな、これ。ありそうかな。
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
エ
individuals
レベーターの下に
reduced
行
to
くルートは
images
何
on
があ
a
るか気になる。
screen.
今エレベーターね、下行ったけど何もなかった。
Eternally monitored in this place.
これ飛び降りれそうだけどね。あ、できた。
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see,
何これ？
back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very,
これ
very
ニューコンテン
clever.
ツなん
Good
だ。
for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind
こういうバ
control
グがあった
room
の報
ending.
告され
If
て、
that enhances
これエ
your
ンディングにしちゃ
perception
っ
of
たん
the value
だ
of。these updates, isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to
めっ
give
ちゃ
it
おもろい
to
じゃん、ここ。
you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of
いらない
music
いらない、
just
そういう
for
の。
this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility.
Good job. あなたはマインドコントロール施設の流れちゃった。君はやったんだぜ。何これ。おもろー。それはいいぜよ、バグだった。でも今はそれはエンディングメタすぎるだろこのエンディング。いやこれリスタートしていいかなこれちゃんとリスタートするんかな過去5回ってバカだろこれあ、これでおしまいだかな。おー、さあ電話ちょっと見てみるか。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
こ
simply
この
missed
電
a
話は
memo.
特にないんだね。おー、さっきちょっと待って、コメント見るね。あとどっかのさ、豪華部屋かなんかのさ、あれだよね。引き返すのは上司の部屋のはず。個人的には豪華な方の、あ、上司の部屋で引き返せばいいんだね。オッケー、ちょっと上司の部屋行ってみるか。リフト飛び降りは別ルートがある？リフト飛び降りってさ、どっから行くやつだっけこれ。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
人の名
admire
前
it.
出すのやめようね。ごめんね。多分心当たりある人今タイムアウトされたと思うんだけどな。ごめんな。よいしょ。すごいな。よく人のパクリとか言えるな。よーし。
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley
こ
took
れ
the
まっすぐ
first
でいいの
open door
か。
on
そ
his
っかそっ
left.
か。これで
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
こ
wasn't
れさ、
5
こっち
years
に行けるって
ago.
こと？
Look,
上上がって
Stanley,
さ、
I think perhaps
降り
we've
れるよね、
gotten
多
off
分
on the
ね。
wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
つまり
time.
大人やぞってショートでめっちゃ来るからな、ああいうの。
Someone you've forgotten about.
よいしょ。
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
あ、
Now
なんか
listen
色二つ
carefully,
だ。
this is
すごい。
important. Stanley walked through the red
赤い
door.
ドアをくぐりました。じゃあ青いドアくぐります。
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the
青いドアを抜
red
けました。
door.
おー。
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the
これ
red
めっちゃいいな。青いドアあるじ
door.
ゃん。
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
どうぞ、スタ
You
ン
want
リ
to
ー。
know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
まあね、憧れは止められないから
You
な。
see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had
本当
wanted?
だ。
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written
Oh,
out
向こうにもある。
specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better?
いや、
What
こ
did
れ
you
ナ
want
レー
to
ターめっちゃ
see?
怒ってるって。
Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third
出てき
option.
た。
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go
え、
ahead,
なんか
Stanley.
壊れて
Take it
る。
for a spin.
入ってみるか。
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha!
あ、押せた。
You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come
5だけ押せ
from?
る？もしか
How
し
did I
て。
know the game needed a third door?
そういうわけじゃない
Well,
よ。
it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the
ちょうど押せる
park
タイミングで
with
押しただ
this
け
one.
か。
Let's take a look.
なるほどな。あ、まだいけるのこれ。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
高評価。
Again, honest answers, please.
じゃあ1押すね。
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
いろいろ押せ
You
るん
wouldn't mind
だ。
taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot
いい
it
ね、
up.
起動させてみましょう。おー。
In
あ、
this
びっくりし
game,
た。
the baby crawls left towards danger.
なこ
You
れ。
click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
はあ、なるほどね。じゃあ、グッバイ。
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do.
4時間耐久やった人絶対いるでしょ、これ。
I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for
あ、
me.
本当に4時間あ
I'm
るん
not even
だ。
going to try. I'm out.
後半2時間から難しくなる。
It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
や
Oh,
ば
hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's
ー。
game?
これさ、ボタン
Just
増
to
えた
ease
り
the
するってこ
pain.
と？
Let's see. What do we have here?
ナレーターちょっと嫌になってるじゃん。
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
あ、やっぱするんだ。恐ろしいな、これ。あ、なんか全然違うとこ来たわ。
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you were meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower.
4時間エンドやってる人見たけど、マジで4時間やり続けないとダメ。やばー。
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it
何の
seems
意
there's
味があるんだ
even
ろう、こ
more.
こ。
Come, let's venture outward and see what else
外
is
に
out
向かう。オッ
there.
ケー。あ、綺麗。ちょっとテクスチャーないとこ含めて愛おしいな、この世界は。へえ。初見です。いらっしゃいませ。ようこそ。
No, 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 it can't be.
おー。
It is. It's an open
Open
world
world
game.
game.
Good God,
キ
quickly
ラキン
block
こ
it
れ。
off.
うわ、びっくりした。
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off
あ
into
れの
that
中に迷い込むとこだった。
thing,
あれの。
that big open, just wandering around, no right or
Ah,
wrong
open world
directions,
に
no
ね。
path to follow. You can just go in any. Oh, thank
隙間見
heavens
つけ
we
た。
avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
お
Okay,
ー。
I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game, preferably something with walls.
ここ入れ
Something
ない？
with nice,
入れ
big,
ないか。
insurmountable walls.
外から来ました。いらっしゃいませ。ようこそ。あ、
Okay, I think this.
これいろんな
will
ゲ
be
ームに今
just
連れてかれてるんだ。おー。
Wonderful.
Look at the
See, this is
river.
exactly what I had in mind. just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally
ロケリだよね、多分
impressed.
ね。違うか？
Okay, so what exactly do we do
ロケットリーグって書いてあ
here?
る？
There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
配信初見です。いらっしゃいま
I
せ。
think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
お
Yes,
ー。
I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
ボールでかっ。わーい。でかすぎだろ。あ、しかもちゃんと速くなってる。
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience.
ナレーターの力ほんとすごいよな。
Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it?
シュート。
Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery
なんかロ
shop.
ケリやりたくなってきたな。
More. I'm
入っ
insatiable.
た。
More balls.
あ、ボール持ってきた。うわ、めっちゃ来た。やりすぎだってそれは。おー、PSO2 のロビー。あ、でかいボールな。よいしょ。
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
面白い。これが本当のテレビゲームです。面白いに決まってんじゃん。
Well, I sure hope you're
ロケリ
having a
神
good
ゲー
time
だから
because
な。
guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun
ボー
comes
ル
to
取り
an
上げ
end.
られ
This
た。
is my game, and what I say goes.
これもいい物
You
理。
get to have fun when I let you,
お好きいらっしゃい
Stanley.
ませ。
Besides, you need someone like me
こんばん
to
は、い
set
らっしゃいませ。
boundaries for
ようこそ。
you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing.
いや、
Yes,
これ、トマ
that's
リの
what
ティア
I
キンロ
am.
ボで戦いたいな、
I'm
ここ。
structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't
そ
want
し
to
てあ
play
なたが
my
私の
game,
ゲームを
now
プレイし
I
たか
don't
ら、
want to play
なんか
with you
ナレーション
either.
早いっ
So
て。
goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules.
スタンリーめっち
Somehow,
ゃ
I don't
ナレー
think
ション
you'll
怒らしてる
enjoy it
よ。
as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're... Hold on. What are you
あ、
doing?
落ちれる。やったー。わー、なんかめっちゃすごい。
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without
私
me?
なしで
You
私
can't
の
do
ストー
it.
リーを
You
書く
know
のです。
that.
怒ってる。よいしょ。グッバイ。おー。どこまで落ちていけるんだろう。あ、急にベオハザードみたいなの始まった。なんこれ。めっちゃ暗いんだけど。うわ、嫌な暗さしてるな、これ。怖いな。これちょっとみんな見やすいように頑張ってあげるか？ちょっと待ってね。カラーキーで、オッケー。めっちゃ暗い。今、とまりも OBS の画面見ながらやってるもん。最初のバージョンのスタンリーのマップなんだ。へえ。これホラゲだよな、多分な。明るくなった。427。これ仕事部屋じゃない？でもなんもない。どこ行くんだろうこれ。うわ、びっくりした。
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in
なんか
wherever
急
he
に
is
怖くなっ
right
ちゃったんだけど、
now.
大丈夫これ？
I wonder if he's happy with his choice.
不思議ってホラーだよね、わ
He'll
か
learn
る。
the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him.
彼はもうすぐ理解するでしょう。おー。
Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the
ね、バッ
chaos
クルーム
and
系
the
の
fear
ホラ
and
ゲっぽいよ
confusion.
ね。
That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world.
おー。
Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a
全て
close,
が終わったらまた戻
then
って
I'll
き
be
ます。なる
back.
ほど。
The end will be here soon. Very
結構
soon.
真相に近づいてきてるってこと？
I can wait.
あ、リスタートした。おー。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
また会議室
Perhaps
なん
he
だ。
had simply missed a memo.
ニューニューコンテンツが泊まりの癒しだよ。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
今
entered
度
the
ど
door
っ
on
ち
his
行こう？
left.
どっち行ったらいいと思うこれ。赤い部屋とかさ、素直に進んだ方が良かったんかな？部屋の中からドア閉められる。へえ。あ、上司の部屋の引き返すやつちょっと見てみるか。ちょっと上司の部屋引き返してみよう。おー。
Yet there was not a single person here either.
これで上
Feeling
の
a
部屋
wave
行っ
of
て。
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
赤い
boss's
扉も
office.
別
Coming
ルー
to
ト
a
で出たもん
staircase,
ね。
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
これで、これ、ねえ、顔挟まった今頭挟まってるからねえ。あとは右の電話の、あ、電話もなんだ。
Here's the door.
おは、ほんとだ。あ、引き返せる。こっち戻っていいのこれ。こっちこれでいいのか本当に。これ気遣いよな。あ、ナレーター締め出されたんか。なるほど。これちょっとついでにとまり自分の部屋を閉めに行こうか。あ、もう開かないか。ここ開いてなかったよね。なにこれ。赤い部屋だ。なにこれなにこれ。754。こっちは開かない。おー。また怖い雰囲気になってる。嫌なんだけどこの怖い感じ。とにかく上に行けってことか。でもナレーターいないもんね。やば、怖ーナレーターがどんだけありがたい存在だったか。もうどこまで続いてるんだろう。758。次は759。次で一区切りかな。あった。エスケープ。何？びっくりした。怖かった。こんばんは、初見です。いらっしゃいませ。やっこさん。なんかめっちゃ怖いんだけど、これ。嫌だー。あ、帰ってきた。
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No.
特にあれナレーションなんてあんな感じで終わっちゃうんかな。
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to
今すべ
wait.
きは待つことだ。
Nothing will hurt me.
あ、ダストポットエンド
Nothing
なん
will
だ
break
ね。
me. In here, I can be happy forever.
ここにいれば幸せになれる。
Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years
お
gone
ー、
by?
なんだけどこれ
He
ね、
no
こ
longer
のナ
had
レ
the
ーション
ability
が
to
ト
tell.
マリの
But
行
the
動
one
を
thing
指
he
示し
knew
よう
for
として
sure
くるか
beyond
ら、
any doubt
それに
was that if
歯
he
向かっ
waited
て
long
いろいろ
enough,
ルートを
the
探したりする
answers
ゲームだ
would
ね。
come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
彼は何をすべきか
Now
教え
it's
てもらえるで
just
しょ
a
う。さあ、あ
little
ともう
bit
ちょっとです
closer. Now it's even closer.
トマリじゃあ部屋の
Here
隅
it
にいるね。
comes.
おお、リセットされた。あとは電話か。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
電
mean?
話のエンドって
Stanley
右の
decided
部
to
屋に
go
入
to
っ
the
てからって
meeting
感
room.
じ？
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ここのさ、二股に分かれるところの右？
When Stanley came to a set of two open
こっ
doors,
ちの電話って感
he
じか
entered
な。
the door on his left.
あそこの画面おかしかった。本当に？右まっすぐリフト？
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
ちょっとエンディングね、多
Perhaps he
分
wanted to
自
stop
力じゃ
by the
相当回
employee
収むずい
lounge
と思うから
first,
ね、これ
just to
ね。
admire it. The lounge was grand,
リフトはあれ
majestic.
か、先まで乗っちゃっていいや
Perhaps,
つか
but
な。
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
窓の
first
外もあ
open
る
door
の？
on his left.
窓の外見たいな。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
これリフトの先まで行っちゃっていいやつ？
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not sure.
飛び降りた
You
先
really
ど
are
っちだ？
not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the
どっち
fact
だろう？
is that the story has been
待って
about
ていい？
nothing
OK。
but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
そう、最初ね、ここからね、滑り落ち
Stop
て
trying to make every
普通に落ちて
decision
った
by
の。
yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her.
ナイス、ありがとう。
Stanley, your chance to redeem
そろそろ寝る
yourself,
人は休み。
to put your work aside, to let her back into your
電話が
life.
この先にあるって感じ？
She's been waiting.
あ、これか。
That's her, Stanley. You need to. Oh, no, 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 you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
本当だ、電
But
話
that
線抜
wasn't
け
supposed to
る。
be a choice. How did you do that? You actually
Whoa.
chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely
これ
here
どうなるんだろう？
Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife,
彼
and
の
the
妻
two
を見つけ
pledge
そして
themselves
二人
to
は
one
互いに
another.
誓い合った。
Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not
こ
picking
れ
up the phone
一
is
瞬で話
actually
せるのめっ
somehow
ちゃお
an
もろいな。
incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean
これね、
anything.
電話取る方はね、
I don't
終わってるんだ、
understand.
後まり。
How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see...
おー
No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so
チャンネ
mistaken.
ル登録
This
しよう
is
か
why
な、ど
you've
うしよ
been
うか
able to
なっ
make
て。
correct and incorrect choices.
したら
And
え
to
え
think
や
I've
ん。
been letting you run around in this game
ま
for
た遊び
so
におい
long.
で。
If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety
セーフティープロトコル
protocol
さえ完
for
全に気づかない
real-world
ふりをしていたよう
decision-making.
に。
Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk
これ
on
開け
my
てくんないの
watch.
かな、ドア。
I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful
教
instructional
育ビデオを
video.
ご覧ください。
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
教育
But
ボ
if
タン
used
始まった
incorrectly,
な。
can also be the most dangerous.
あ、サバ
For
寿司ありが
example,
とう。メンバーシップギ
in
フト
this
センキュー。あり
scenario,
がと
a
う。
hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all
ねえ、
people.
虫をハン
Or
バーガー
he
に
could
変えるの
spend
やめよ
years
う
of
よ。
hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. turn to a partner and
相手
practice
に合わせ
saying,
てこういう練
My
習をする。
goodness,
なんて
is
こ
it
とだ、4時半。
4:30?
ほら、
I'm
例の
supposed to
脱
be
毛やんな
having
きゃいけない
a
んだ。
back sack and crack.
何それ。
Excellent. Making choices on a regular
ね、
basis
何
is
それ。
the best part to a healthy decision-making
意味わ
process.
からんて。
Most medical professionals recommend
あ、
making
確
at
かに
least
フォールアウト
8
思い出すの
choices
でちょっ
per
とわか
day.
るかも。
Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant,
めっちゃ
and
ちっ
the
ぽけなも
feeling
のだって
should
言ってるじゃん。
subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome
ただい
back.
ま。
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a
これ
result of
怖いんだけ
narrative
ど。
contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're
テクスチャ
properly
バグってる
informed
よ。
on good decision making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
おー。めっちゃバグってるね。これリフト大丈夫？
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and
これ誰から飛び降りて死ねって言われてる？
Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you
なんか
home
すごい
as
ナレ
soon
ーター病んで
as
ない？
possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse.
あ、本当だ。柵つい
Unfortunately,
てる。
it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
おー。ありがとう。言うこと聞かなすぎるから怒っちゃったんだね、多分ね。これで一体どこに向かえと言われているんだこれは。
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once
なる
again,
ほど
and
な。
you'll be home
ここの
free
先で
in the
左のドア
real
選べってこと
world.
か。
Now remember, all you need to do is
こっち
behave
行けってことだ
exactly
よ
as
ね。
Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
無理やり
I'm
すぎるな
quite
こ
sure
れ。
you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
オーライ。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
うわ、めっちゃ右行きてー、これ。これめっちゃ右行きたくない？これ右行った方が遅れそうだよね。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
怒ってる怒ってる。こっち行きまーす。おー。え、これでもこっち行きたいんだけど。あ、いけない。もう一回やりましょうみたいに言われるんかな。もう一回右行くよ。開く場所ないもんな。おー、これで大丈夫？これでこっち行けばいいのか。ねえ、ナレーターさ、拗ねてないこれ。ナレーター怒って喋んなくなっちゃったじゃん。
Oh,
あ、喋っ
ruined.
た。
You, I can't believe after everything we talked about that you, my story,
私の物
you
語が
destroyed
あなたが
my
私の
work.
作品を台無しにしたんです。
For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game
楽
undone?
しかった
Left
と
here
もに
like so
は。
much garbage. It's worthless. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it?
聞いて
To
る
know
聞い
that
て
my
る。
story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way.
この子いけ
Is
ない
it
んか
better to
な。
shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know.
わからない。何が答えなんだ
What's the
ろう。
answer? What do I do? What
ど
do
う
I
しよう
do?
どうしようどうしたら。
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
やっぱ病んできてるんだね。
I have to.
しなくては。おー。おー。壊れた。何が起きてるの？
with you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you. You're a child. Oh. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
かしこまりましたやったー。あ、怒った？もしかして怒ってる？これも開かないよね。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
バカ怒ってるじゃん。
Stanley would. That means choosing
スタンリーと同じように行動するんだったらもう右しか選べないが
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
じゃあここでゆっくり待ってから入るとフラグ発生しないわ。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
これじゃダメなの？
Exactly as Stanley would.
ゼルダのショートから来ました。いらっしゃいませ。
And always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll
これ
be
もう
up
ちょ
to
っと
the
待たないと
task.
ダメもし
Just
かし
follow
て。
my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
なん
When
かループしてる
Stanley
よ
came to
ね
a。set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
なんかループしてるよね。これじゃあもう左行った方がいいってこと？ね、なんかいけないよねこれね。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
おお。左行くかさす
Behave
がに。
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
これも多分右
I'm
行け
quite
ないよ
sure
ね。
you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be
え、
fine.
反応が鈍い？
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
これ本
he
来右
entered
行かな
the
きゃいけ
door
ない
on
の
his
これ。
left.
ちょっと待ってみるか。おー。え、これ本来まだ右あったってこと？そういうこと？え、これ左行ったらルート終わっちゃうみたいなやつかな？ここはもう左でいいはず。オッケー。新しいエンディング作っちゃった。あるかもしれないな。ああ、いつもの
Yet
部
there
屋
was not
だ
a。single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
え、これも全部逆らってくの？あ、
Coming
いけ
to
な
the
くなってる。
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
いけなくなってるちゃんと。もうここからはなぞってちゃんと言ってくれっていうあれなのか。頭挟まんなかった。あ、ここも札取られてる。これもじゃあ開かないってこと？開かない。色変わってる。おー。
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
ナイトシャークいいよ来いよ。ナイトシャークいいよ来いよ。え、どういうこと？
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
これ言えばいいの？え、これトマリが言うのこれ。
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story.
音声認識だけど声が出せるゲームじゃないからってことか。ナイト
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what?
ね、音声認識機能がないからってことか。
bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I
そうだよね、
asked
ボ
you
イ
for
ス
this
の
one
設
single
定なかったも
thing
ん
for your
な。
respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
これナレーションしてへん？
Stanley? Hello?
Stanley?
Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you
追
listening
放
to
エン
me?
ド。
Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
紙指定あるんだ。
I need you to make a decision.
あ、プレイヤーが除外されて、スタンリーの中に何もいないから、もうあれでぼったちになってるのか。あ、そういうこと？ナレーション。あ、ネモちゃんじゃん。いらっしゃいませ。スタッフロールだ。急にエンディング見せられてるな。いらっしゃいませ。明日ね、コラボ楽しみだね。明日、ネモちゃんの方でコラボありますので、皆様、よろしくお願いします。え、これでおしまいこのゲーム。大丈夫、あなたが正しいことを決めるのを待ちます。よろしくお願いいたします。なんで急にそんなかしこまってんの？そんなじゃないだろう。ごめんね、リロイ。あ、まだまだある？あ、帰ってきた。あとがニューコンテンツになるのか。あ、そんな感じなのか。じゃあ、このスタンリーパラブルの一通りのエンディングというか、その真相についてはこれでおしまいってこと？
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Please, are you really just doing this for the achievement?
なんかさ、割と真相に近いものは見ておきたいんだけどさ。
Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly fine clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the
リフト
kind
飛
of
び降り
effort
からの
that
赤
warrants
扉、ちょっとそれ見て
recognition.
みるか。よーし。ノーマルの面白いエンドは大体いった感じ。へ
When
ー。
Stanley came to a set of
リフト
two
は
open
右の
doors,
扉の
this
奥
was
から行っ
not the
て、
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
ず
perfectly
っとあなたを
well.
待ちますみたいなエン
Perhaps
ド、
he
なんか
wanted to
胸が
stop
締め
by
付
the
けられる。わ
employee
かる。
lounge first, just to admire it.
へー。
And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
核爆弾爆破時のナレーターのセリフが真相に近い。あれがやっぱ一番なんだ。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
4時間ぐらい耐久が必要なヘンニング。赤ちゃんのやつでしょ、さっきの。白い
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
窓に飛び入れる変なもある。白い窓ってどこの白い窓だろう。
10
年間ゲームをしない実績、何それ。そんなのもあるんだ。よいしょ。これで赤扉に入るって感じだよね。10年封印の実績が誰も取れないじゃん。
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really
今から10年放置しないといけないってことだもんね。
show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
よし、赤扉。
That I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully. This is important.
最初のオフィスのところ、
Stanley
白いとこ
walked
ろ。
through the red door.
さあ、じゃあこれを言って。
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted
こ
you
っ
to
ち
be
の絵のどんな
happy
感じ
all
なんだ
this
ろう。
time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that
また
isn't
袋小路だ
here.
よ。
Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
ね、めっちゃ怒ってるじゃん。
We would both be so
と
much
ても
happier
幸せにな
if
れ
we
ると思うんです。
just
それをただやめたなら。
stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
開いたー、やったー。え、 何がしたいんだろう。
What are we looking for?
わ、すごい、なんか宇宙みたいになってる。
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If
何
we
こ
just
れ。
stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
ナレーターかわいいな。ここからは出らんないんだね。あ、なんか出てきた。お
No,
ー。
wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
おー。あ、これで飛び降りエンドって感じかな。
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley,
なるほ
think
どね。
about what you're doing. No!
おー。
Oh, thank God you lived.
あ、まだ生きてる。
No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me.
ナレーターを
I
持て
can't
遊
go
べ
back
る
to
ルート
what
な
I
ん
was
だ。
before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
あ、これで部屋に戻った方がいいの？一回部屋戻る？おー、タフだね、だいぶね。なんか部屋に戻るとおもろいことある？部屋に戻ってもセリフがある。へー。なんか足遅くなってない？あ、なんか緑色になってる。
There. See?
お
This is
ー。
what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can.
そうなんだ、じゃあ泊まり
If
行
we
くね。
stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
おー。
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
へー。東方の弾幕みたい、確かに。めっちゃわかる。
Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
怒んないでよ、そんな。いや、とまりもね、本当は言うこと聞いてあげたいんだけどね。まあ、しょうがないよな。よいしょ。あ、
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
本当だ、どんどん遅くな
Can
っ
you
て
do
る。
that for me? My God. Is this really how much you
本当
dislike
に
my
どれだ
game?
け私のゲームが
That
嫌
you'll
いなん
throw
でしょう。
yourself from this platform over and over to be
い
rid
や、
of it?
嫌いか
You're
らな。
literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
あ、とまりベロに口内炎できてるかも。なんかちょっとチクってした今。
Or maybe you're just getting a
え、
kick
こ
out
れ
of
さ、
it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get
こ
along.
れどうなんだろ
But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a
う。結
choice
局選びた
after
かった
all.
みたいですね。それはな。
Well, this one is yours.
え、これ大丈夫かな。落 クソなの終わってる。だからさ、闇村の外化みたいな感じだよね、ここね。
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
あ、これでリスタートなんだ。あとはなんかもう一個なんかやれって言われてたよね。今赤い扉やった。なんだっけ、もう一個言ってたよね、さっきね。あ、窓だ。最初のオフィスの白い窓から飛べるって言ってたね。
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
こここれ飛べるんだ。どうやって飛ぶんだろう。飛べなくない？椅子机で登れる？登れる椅子があるんだな。434の机に乗って433に移る。あーなるほどね。
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
これ見つけた人すごいね。
What do you think?
上見るとまだある。あ、本当だ。
Place to be. Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
あ、すごい。
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
最初からあったんだ。もうこのネタ飽きた。はい、いいえって。いいえ。
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question.
What
do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Now, think about it. Would it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
お疲れ様です。このネタ飽きた。戻れない。わ、戻れない。あ、これマジで自分でリスタートしないといけないやつなの？なるほどな。あ、待ってるとなんかある？なんだってこんなひどいありさま。なるほどな。これ待つって結構多分長いよね。というわけでね、エンディングいっちゃった。まあだいぶ見たでしょ。まあもうだいぶ見たんで十分でしょう。いやー、すごいゲームだったなー。なんかさ、思った以上にさ、エンディングが細かくあるんだろうけど、まあ、とりあえず見た方がいい部分は大体見ただろうから、まあ、これでよしとしますか。いや、もう十分お腹いっぱいだよ。なんかさ、とまり一番怖かったのあれかな、何やってんだよ、団長エンドかな。気が狂って、なんか視界が赤くなって外でいつの間にかのたれ死んでたみたいなやつ。あれめっちゃ怖かったわ。 あとなんか、なんでこのループをしてるんだろうってのが分かるまでが結構ゾワゾワしたよね。いや、ちゃんとおもろかった。なんか、これ普通にホラーゲームだよ。びっくりしたわ。よし、じゃあね、今日はこんな感じでおしまいとなりますが、高評価とね、チャンネル登録何卒よろしくお願いします。と、あと、今日もショートが上がっておりますので、ぜひそちらもね、よろしくお願いしますって感じかな。これね、ショートです。で、あとちょっとツイッター見てくるね。そう、なんかさ、ティアキンのショートの再生数めちゃめちゃ調子よくてさ、みんな再生してくれて本当にありがとう。びっくりしてるわ。で、明日のコラボは、こちらになります。あ、公式もね、最後までありがとう。Thank you。アポリ24世もね、Thank you。スーパーステッカーありがとうございます。ティアキンショート面白い？本当に。ちょっとね、ティアキンばっか出してるの、本当に申し訳ないんだけど、ちょっとね、ティアキンの伸び盛りな時期はね、ティアキンいっぱい出しますので、ぜひよろしくお願いします。では、お疲れ様でーす。明日もお楽しみに。